As a vaginal health nutritionist, I often get asked, what is the number one thing that I need to avoid eating for my vaginal health? And my answer is always the same, and that is sugar. Sugar is one of the worst things that you can eat for your vaginal health, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why and give you some tips on how to reduce or eliminate sugar from your diet. My name is Adrienne Rommel. I am a holistic nutritionist and women's health coach that specializes in nutrition and wellness for women's sexual health. And sugar is one of the main culprits of vaginal infections for many women, especially those women who are experiencing recurring chronic vaginal infections like yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, UTIs, and genital herpes outbreaks. And I'm going to share a little bit about why that is, how it works in the body, and give you some tips on how you can eliminate sugar from your diet, because for a lot of people, particularly women, it's a really hard thing to do. Sugar is one of the worst things that you can eat if you want to maintain your vaginal health, and I'm going to give you reasons why it's not good for your vagina. Number one, sugar feeds the bad bacteria in your gut and in your vagina, causing it to overgrow, which can lead to these chronic vaginal infections. If you've seen some of my other videos where I talk about the vaginal and gut health connection, our vaginas have a microbiome that's similar to our gut microbiome that consists of good and bad bacteria and flora. But what happens is that when you eat a lot of sugar, it literally feeds the bad bacteria, causing it to overgrow, which can lead to chronic vaginal infections and inflammation in your body. Number two, sugar is one of the 3 inflammatory foods that I always talk about, which are gluten, dairy, and sugar. But sugar causes inflammation in the body, in the gut, and in the vagina. And inflammation can weaken and suppress your immune system. It can throw your gut and vaginal microbiomes off balance, causing these chronic vaginal infections to keep arising. I know for me personally, my diet used to be very high in sugar and starchy carbohydrates like breads and pastas and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter if you're eating sugar or if you're eating carbs like these starchy carbohydrates, the way it's processed and digested in the body at the end of the day turns into sugar, and that's what's feeding the bad bacteria, causing it to overgrow and also causing inflammation in your body, in your gut, and in your vagina. Number 3, and this is really important because sugar can cause hormone imbalances. Because of our fluctuating blood sugar levels, which you can find out more about in my previous video on how you can manage your blood sugar and why that's important. It also negatively affects our sex and reproductive hormones like estrogen and can cause all kinds of symptoms like irritability, fatigue, difficulty sleeping, difficulty concentrating, infertility, and problems with your libido. Number 1 is eating whole foods. I always say if it grows, eat it. Enjoy the rainbow of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and good quality sources of protein. When you eat these whole natural foods, it keeps you satiated, it keeps your body nourished, and it prevents you from binging on sugar. It prevents you from wanting to reach for your sugary treat when you're craving it. And it makes you feel like you're satisfied so that you don't reach for that sugar in between meals or when you're bored. Number 2 is include good fats. And this is really important because including good fats in your diet in moderation can help you to maintain your blood sugar levels. So instead of your blood sugar fluctuating like this, it starts to go more like this, and it leaves you satiated for longer. So again, you're not reaching for those sugary treats in between meals. And when you start getting adjusted to incorporating more good fats into your lifestyle, you will stop craving sugar as much. It's really interesting to notice. That's what's worked for me. Good sources of fat include avocados, nuts and seeds, eggs, salmon, extra virgin olive oil, and other really good quality cooking oils like avocado oil as well. But again, be sure to enjoy these good fats in moderation. I feel like as a culture, we were brought up on low fat everything. Whole fats are actually really good for you in moderation, so you have to be careful. It's still fat. Number 3 is eliminate any processed foods and junk foods. Anything that's not natural, try to avoid it as much as possible. It's okay to indulge in your favorite treat once in a while, but really trying to be mindful of eliminating and reducing processed foods, junk foods, foods that are high in saturated fats. A lot of these processed foods have so much hidden sugar in them. It's unbelievable. It's really important to look at the ingredients list of the foods, of the prepackaged and processed foods that you're buying because of this hidden sugar. If you see anything that ends in OSE, like cellulose, lactose, glucose, these are all forms of sugar. So it's really important to start reading the labels of these prepackaged and processed foods that you're buying, which brings me to tip number 4. So number 4 is read the labels. And this is really important, and I can't stress this enough because a lot of these prepackaged foods have so much hidden sugar in them and have ingredients listed in them that are not natural, that are sources of sugar that you do not want to include in your diet. And it's really important to look at the food labels. So where it says like how much fat is in it, how many calories, how many carbohydrates, and how much sugar. When I look at a food label, the first thing I look for is the sugar content. I don't even look at the calories. I don't look at the fat. I don't look at the protein. I look at the carbohydrates sometimes because the way they're digested in the body convert to sugar at the end of the day. But the first thing I look at is sugar. And my rule of thumb is make sure that you're buying prepackaged foods that have under 10 grams of sugar per serving. It's really important because not only do foods have these hidden sugars, but beverages do as well. So it's really important to be mindful of the prepackaged foods that you're buying and how much sugar is in them. And number 5 is only include natural sources of sugar. So fruit, for example, fruit is also sugar. Fruit contains fructose, which is a form of sugar, but it is a healthier form of sugar because it's also fibrous and there's lots of vitamins and minerals that we get from fruit, natural whole fruits. Trying to eat as whole fruit as possible. None of this canned stuff that's soaked in syrup that's so high in sugar and so bad for you. As natural as possible and as organic as you can. So those were my 5 tips, and I think it's also really important to mention water. And I've talked about this in some of my other videos as well. If you are somebody who gets sugar cravings, particularly during that 3 p.m. slump, it could be an indication that your body is telling you that it's thirsty. So grab a glass of water instead of reaching for that afternoon sweet treat to see if it satisfies the craving. Wait about 10 minutes and see if you're still thinking about that favorite sweet treat. If you are somebody who is consuming a lot of sugar, or you notice that you're getting really hungry in between meals, and you can always tell when your blood sugar is getting a little bit low because you almost feel faint, or as what many people like to call hangry, Bioptimizers has a really great solution in supplement form, and it's called Blood Sugar Breakthrough. And this blend is specifically designed to help you maintain your blood sugar levels from going like this, like I mentioned before, to going more like this, especially when you want to have some cheat meals that are high in sugar or in carbohydrates. You can take one of these and it will help you to balance your blood sugar by helping you maintain a healthy insulin response. So if you are somebody who is consuming a lot of sugar, or if you find that you do get kind of faint in between meals, hangry, if you are reaching for those late afternoon sweet treats, this is your go-to. Also, if you are somebody that eats a lot of sugar and you're starting to notice that your gut is not feeling very good, and you can always tell by your gut's maybe inflamed, you are having trouble going to the bathroom, your digestion might be impacted, maybe, especially as women, maybe you're experiencing more chronic vaginal infections than normal, like yeast infections or bacterial vaginosis. Another great supplement that I recommend, I recommend anybody to have a good quality probiotic, and this is where Bioptimizers comes in real handy as well, because they've got their P3OM probiotic that is really, really helpful if you are experiencing any kind of digestive distress or gut health issues. If you are experiencing chronic vaginal infections, this is your supplement as well. Our goal is for you to be the superhuman version of yourself, the Bioptimized woman. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, click on the like and subscribe button below, and click on the little bell notification to get notified when I create more videos like this. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are some of the foods that you're addicted to? What are some of your favorite sugary foods that you're just having a hard time giving up? What are some of the things that you've really struggled with when it comes to trying to reduce your sugar intake in your diet? Or what are some of the things that has helped you personally? I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to sharing more information with you on diet, nutrition, and wellness for your vaginal health.